Well, hey guys, and welcome again to Into the Night. Tonight I'm going to do another quick review, product review. I've been sent this torch from Sofrin. I think that's how you say it. And this is the IF30. So let's get it on the table and we'll unbox it and see what's inside. Okay, so this is the packaging it comes in. Not a bad box. Just look at some quick specifications on the back here. We've got 3 different modes. You've got floodlight, spotlight and flood. So if you want to have a look at the table, you can pause the video, but it's putting out a maximum of 12,000 lumens. Anyway, let's get it open and see what's inside it. Now we got the wind's blowing mad tonight. It's going to drive me mad. So here we got a instruction manual, got a lanyard, and a USB-A to USB-C charging cable, and we got the torch itself. But I put this in here so it doesn't blow everywhere. So it's a Sofrin IF30. There's a place in the back where you charge it with a USB-C. Just a rubber plug in there just to seal it up. So you got a nice reflector in the middle for the spotlight, and your ring around the outside for all your floodlights. And you got your dial switch on here. Now when it first comes, it is locked. So you got to turn it more than 60 degrees to unlock it, but I've still got to take the insulation thing out of the back. So just that button there, it does feel almost like there's a bit of metal on metal when you turn it. It doesn't feel real smooth. So that's one thing you could improve on if you're watching this video, Sofrin. So anyway, let's see what's in here. There's your little insulation film. Put that in the box too. And here's the battery. It's their own branded battery. It's a 32650 lithium battery, 6,500 milliamp hour. Not a bad, it's a pretty big battery. Nice gold contacts in there so they don't get corroded. So now to unlock, you give it a turn of 60 degrees or more, and then you can press it and it turns on an eco, which is 30 lumens. So to change the brightness, you just rotate this little knob here, and that goes up to the highest one in turbo. Go back to anti-clockwise, and it goes dims it down. Now to change your different modes, you press and hold, and that goes to spotlight. Press and hold again, it goes to both. Press and hold again, it just goes back to flood. So if you just press and hold it, it circulates through those different modes. Anyway, if you want to go straight to turbo, you just do a quick double click and it's straight on. So actually, I'll just see if it does turbo. If you got it in each mode. Yeah, the turbo puts a flood and spot. If I'll change it to just spot. Yeah. So no matter what mode you're in, whether you're in flood or spot or both, when you double click it goes to turbo in that and stays in that mode. Now if you go to triple click, it goes to strobe, then you click it again and that goes straight back to what it was in before. Now let's do a bit of a comparison between the Murata Mini from Olight, and I think by the looks of it they're pretty much identical length, and the Sofrin is almost, if you're not including that part, it's pretty well the same diameter that way. There's the bezels and the reflectors and LEDs. And there, so you've only got 6 in the Marauder Mini, the white ones, and then you got a red, green and blue, or whichever ones they are. So this one here is only advertising as 7,000 lumens, this one's 12, so if we can get 12,000 lumens with all those extra ones, we'll see how it goes. So it's a little bit smaller in your hand, the IF30, compared to the Marauder Mini. So anyway, we'll take them both out and put them side by side, and I'll show you how this one performs. When you press it, when it's locked, if you press the button and it's locked, it'll flash. So you give it a twist, and then that light comes on, and then that's eco mode. But I can see trees over there at 20 meters, and I can see them okay. Yeah, if I go to turn the wheel, it goes up in the brightness. There you go, that should be 12,000 lumens, just blasting out there. That's quite brilliant. Now if I press and hold, there's a spotlight, so you can see it in the paddock. There's a power pole there at, I think it's about 300 meters. I can see it probably better with my eyes than what the camera's picking up, but it's not too bad a torch. Pretty good little beam on it. It's still got enough spread around it. Now if I press and hold again, that's just amazing. It just punches out, you get the distance, you get heaps of flood and everything as well. It's just it's ridiculously bright. But anyway, it's getting warm now. Double click and go back to low or to eco. If you have it on there for too long, it gets quite hot to hold. Now that's the Marauder Mini on the full brightness. Spotlight, I go back to flood, and so yeah, it's definitely a lot brighter than the than the Olight one. That's really impressive. This front here is getting very, very hot to hang on to. It actually gets a bit uncomfortable to hold the torch once you've had it on for a while. And actually, look at that, there's a bit of condensation or something building up inside the front lens, so that's not a good sign. And if you take that apart there, it does void your warranty, it says in the instructions, so I won't be taking that off. But just from the heat, probably a bit of moisture, a bit of humidity. If it was put together in humidity, just that heat has caused the condensation on the front lens, on the front glass. But yeah, that's a terrific amount of light. Look at that. It's just absolutely brilliant. Now I have got the colour temperature in the camera app set to 5600 for the white balance, so you get a more of a looks pretty much how I'm seeing it with my eyes, and the exposure's set too. So I'm just going to wrap up with my final thoughts on the Sofrin IF30 little torch. it is a really nice torch to hold in your hand. It's a good size, reasonably good weight. It's not ridiculously heavy. It's not something you really want to be carrying around on you all the time, as they're not made to be an everyday carry torch, but rather just a searchlight. So yeah, it's going to be good for camping. You set it up, just sit it on the table or something, and it stands up really good. It's not going to fall over real easy, and you can put it up and it really lights the room up, but it's going to get pretty hot pretty quickly doing that. I just set it at sort of like a mid-range, just to be able to light the room up, and you get a fair few hours of runtime out of it. So some pros and cons. I liked the size, as I said before. It is a good weight. The brightness is amazing. But there's a few cons. Like, well, it's not really a con because it's to be expected from a torch that puts out so much light. It's going to get hot. They put warning signs on there about hot surface and everything, so it's just to be expected. When you got it on the full output, power output, putting out as much light as it can put out, it's going to get hot. So it nearly gets pretty uncomfortable to hold in your hand. It gets that hot unless you're holding back here near the end of it, but it's sort of a bit weird. And the switch, I think, could be a little bit smoother. It feels like there's almost like aluminium from the housing, so it's like metal on metal rubbing when you turn it. Like it's a little bit of wobble in the switch, and you go to turn it and it drags, I think, on the side of the body of the torch, with the way the button is recessed into the housing. So it's just a bit of a rubbing on there, and it just sort of makes the button feel not so smooth. I would like to see a quicker way to change to the brightness levels, but I suppose if the button was smooth, it would make it a bit more user friendly as well. The finish of it is good. There's a few like sort of sharpish edges on here in the corners that could have been finished off, but the more work you put into that, the dearer it's going to be, the end product anyway. So if you're just after light and lots of it, this is a torch for you. But so yeah, I think that's all the cons I had for it. It's not a bad little torch, really. I quite like it, and I think it'd be a great torch if you want to just go out camping or something, and or walking a dog at night, and you want a torch, even if you don't need the ridiculous amount that it's capable of. You'll get pretty good run times out of it by just using it. If you want to see out distance, you just turn your spotlight on, or you got your flood, or you got the option to use both. If you do want to have a look at it and look into it a bit more, I'll leave a link in the description below. You can go over to the website and check it out, but there's lots of other torches there as well. So anyway, if you did like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, go and check out the link below, and I'll catch you in the next video.